announcement has been paid for by the nWBro's podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Blade, Big Kev, and California. It's the nWBro's podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the nWBro's podcast here. I'm your host, California. It's great to be with you all here for episode 9. It's the Clash of the Champions 33 review. Right here with the nWBro's. I'm one of them, and I'm going to introduce the other two motherfuckers right here, right now. First and foremost, he's got 6 weeks off work right now. He's about to have the summer of his life. It will be the summer of Blade. Blade, how you doing?
So good, man. Had my first official day off today. I'm very, very relaxed. Looking forward to discussing Clash of the Champions. Yeah, good to see you, boys.
Excellent, bro. Okay, so you're very relaxed. I like to hear that. Did you have a, one of them?
Oh, yeah, like speaking about Mean Gene and having a belt. Yeah, I took some of his advice and, went to town.
Excellent, bro. Excellent. And our other nWBro, the esteemed one and only Big Sexy Kevin Curran. Big Kev, what is going on, my friend?
Blade's saying he's relaxed. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I'm not relaxed. I can't get this audio shit. I can't sort it out. I don't know what's going on. One week it says something. Next week it's different. I hope it's all right. I apologize.
Look, everyone out there, we want to apologize on behalf of Big Kev, even though he just apologized. Me and Blade want to apologize on behalf of him for not just that, but the fact is, look, it might not be on the screen right now, but Kev, there is foul language on your show. This is a family show.
I do believe you opened the show with
Did I say motherfuckers?
Did you say esteemed motherfuckers?
I don't know. So stupid. Anyway, look, guys, as per usual, first question of the week or of the podcast, we're getting to know the nWBro's. Now, this time I've come up with another question, and it is favorite and least favorite tag teams in wrestling history. Blade, I'm starting with you.
Got to back my boy in. I'm going with the New Age Outlaws, my favorite tag team.
No.
Very good. On the flip side, I don't understand the hype. I don't get these guys.
Yeah.
I
already know what you're about to say.
Irritate the absolute fuck out of me. I tried, people. I really did. Worst tag team, the Young Bucks.
Just what I thought, bro. Just what I thought. Kev, favorite and least favorite tag team of all time?
Favorite tag team? It's hard to not pick Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the outsiders for me. Probably in my early fandom of when I was a little kid, the Demolition for me was one that I had the aura about when they come out with the spikes, and because we're in Australia, I didn't get to see the Road Warriors until later on. So Demolition was the first team I seen come out where it was like, oh, they're scary, like this spikes and their face paint. So yeah, that probably the Demolition in the beginning, but yeah, probably Nash and Hall later on. I'm probably missing so many teams I loved over the years.
But who do you hate as well? Maybe not. Hate's a bit of a strong word, but
do you know what? I'm gonna pick, because I kind of just follow it. I skim through the show. I find Private Party really.
God!
I don't understand them at the moment. When they do promos, they don't do it for me. There's something missing with them. They feel like a rip-off of the guys,
the Street Profits.
Yeah. It just seems like a cheap Wish knockoff of them. So yeah, I'm not a fan of them. I find myself cringing when they're on the TV.
The AEW World Tag Team Champions. Come on, as I said last episode.
I don't hate them. I just yeah.
No, I don't hate them either. But if you put them in the ring with the Steiners from the '90s, the Harlem Heat, even Rough and Ready, I mean, come on. For me, you know what? My first ever favorite tag team was Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown. But my favorite tag team of all time, Got to go with the outsiders. Got to go with them. You know, they taught me a lot about myself. I was a very socially anxious young man, and because I copied their swagger, just like Hulk Hogan does, uh, I ended up kind of, false bravado became bravado. So it kind of helped. So thank you to them. But least favorite tag team, I will echo Blade's sentiments. I do not like the Young Bucks. I think that they're probably some nice guys because I saw the Canyon dark side of the ring where they were on there, and I thought to myself, okay, they seem like nice enough guys, but I don't like the way that they do their thing. I don't like anything that they do. I find them cringy, just like Blade does. So fuck yeah, let's move forward, boys. And we're getting on here with our episode here. It's the Clash of the Champions 33 review, but we have one stop to get to before we get to the Clash of the Champions. And we're getting to August 12th, 2 days after Hog Wild Brother on August the 10th. Casper, Wyoming, 6,408 fans. We're going to get to the ratings here, boys. Nitro on this night did a 3.3. Raw did a 2.0. Ouch.
Wow.
That's gonna hurt. Unbelievable. They're just pulling away more and more. And we start the show with Tony and Larry AT. How you fucking doing, Tone? They're showing some stills later on what happened at Hog Wild Brother on August the 10th. Every time. Larry Zbyszko. He did what we were complaining about last time, boys. Immediately, he is complaining that nobody came out to help the Giant. Where was Sting? Where was Luger? Where were the Horsemen? Where were the Dungeon? He asked the question that we were asking. Tony and Larry also discuss Nick Patrick's behavior during the Outsiders versus Lex Luger and Sting match. And we get also some hype for Macho Man and Flair for the US title later on. Kev, I'm starting with you, my friend. Anything to say here?
I liked Larry's sort of dress. That said, I think it was Larry. They dressed it as a dark day for WCW with Hogan spray painting the belt, and so that was a good line. And I'm happy they addressed that the ending of the pay-per-view with no one coming out to save the Giant.
It was glaring, wasn't it? Like, why did anyone come and help him? Just Jimmy Hart? Come on.
So yeah, I'm happy that was addressed, because I was kind of a little like miffed that was like, what's going on here? Come on.
They probably thought to themselves, you know what, we need to get someone to address this. At the beginning of the show. Blade, anything to follow up here, my friend?
No, that pretty much covers it. I was a little bit distracted by Tony's shirt this week.
What now?
It was just weird. It was like some sort of new wave architectural thing. It looked like it had like a little pyramid stitched into it, almost like a bit of a twist on the Hog Wild cowboy shirt sort of thing. So maybe he's just carrying the vibe over. I don't know.
Oh, it's the Hog Wild Brother on August the 10th. Yep. Okay.
Hog Wild Brother, August 10th.
Okay, so we skim forward here, guys, because as we are doing on this show, we're only covering anything to do with the NWO as it pertains to Nitros and Saturday nights, etc. Later in the show, Sting and Lex come out and they walk towards where the commentating team are. And they are sick of following the rules. Sting challenges the Outsiders for a rematch. They get in the ring and wait for the Outsiders. I believe Larry said, I don't smell the New World odor yet. Bet you love that, Blade. And I wrote in my notes, get used to it, Blade. Yeah, he's going to say it for the next 3 years. They don't come out, obviously, boys. Blade, your thoughts in this segment?
Yeah, I mean they march down, they mean business. Obviously they're miffed about the way that Hog Wild turned out. They sort of fumbled their way through the promo a little bit. I think something was mentioned about, sleepless nights had since they lost to the Outsiders. And then Sting basically says the same thing. I don't know, maybe some slightly homoerotic overtones there when two men talk about having sleepless nights in close proximity to one another, but that's okay. We love that for them. So, yeah, I don't know. It was it was an okay. It's an okay segment. I thought the promo was kind of a bit average, but the crowd seemed to enjoy it nonetheless, and seemed pretty hot. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Kev.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think it was maybe Sting said they don't care about the controversy with Nick Patrick, or they just want to get the outsiders. They should care. They should be wanting to find him and beat the shit out of him, to be honest with you. I think the fans were hot for this. They're really interesting in Luger. They were really fired up for them, and when they called out the outsiders, so the fans are doing what they're supposed to do, and that's cheer the faces here, which is good.
You know what I would have done? I would have had a match taking place. And I would have had Sting and Lex come out, and I would have had Lex get in the ring and interrupt the match, because you know what? They're interrupting the proceedings here. They're doing what the outsiders do. They're interrupting the proceedings. Lex should have just waltzed into the ring. Nick Patrick's the referee of whatever match. It could be, I don't know, Alex Wright versus Mr. JL. And he just grabbed Nick Patrick by the scruff of his shirt and force him into the corner and be like, what was with the chop block? What was with the chop block at Hog Wild Brother on August the 10th? You know, like Lex getting his face, you know, we should have, because honestly, when you look at the footage, how blatant is the chop block? I mean, I know that the Tony and Larry are acting like, oh, you know, we don't know, you know, if they showed the footage in slow motion and showed how like he was gently touched with the back of Scott Hall's boot as Luger was going for that torture rack, and all of a sudden Nick Patrick is in a world of hurt, such a world of hurt that he's accidentally chop blocking Lex Luger. Like there's got, you know, I think there could have been a little bit more analysis done by these guys instead.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretending that you know. Oh, Nick Patrick, you know, it must have been no, we're not stupid, okay? We're not stupid. You know, this isn't
because the commentary team are really adamant that he's been paid off, and his palms have been greased. You know, they're the ones really, you know, questioning that. Whereas like Sting and Luger should be the ones more pissed off. Seems like the commentary team is more pissed off than they are. That's, you know, so exactly. that idea would have been a little bit better, I think. Just a little bit. But I think a bit more than a little bit.
What we got was okay. It's fine. Yeah. But okay, we crossed to the NWO. They're in their own suite now, and they got a cameraman there. First and foremost, Blade. Before I continue on with these notes, Hogan in the red bandana. Doesn't work for me, brother.
No, it's not going to work for me either, brother.
You know what really annoyed me? Later on, he came out for an interview with Gene and he had the Hollywood fucking bandana on. Mm-hmm. Why did he change bandanas for?
I bet you they were about to film it and he couldn't find it. And it was like, oh, well, that'll do.
I bet that's exactly what it is. Okay, so they start talking. I am laughing at Nash. Senior official Nick Patrick, a fine referee, as they're talking about this whole scenario that took place at Hog Wild Brother on August the 10th. They haven't got the actual logo on the shirts yet. You got Hall in the WCW shirt with the cross out on it. They're talking about the fact that the fourth and fifth guys are apparently in the room. They talk about melting the belt down, and Nash uses Hogan's line about, you know, what you're going to do. And, you know, they're just chilling here. But Hogan also mentions that the fans are going to disown WCW, and Hogan kind of funnily pretends he's upset about the whole thing. I'm starting with Kev.
Yeah, he pretty much covered everything there. I liked how Hogan said he doesn't like the belt and wants to get it changed or redesigned. I think it was an interesting segment from the NWO here. They were kind of like, their energy was a little subdued, I guess. They were kind of just sort of...
Being cocky.
Yeah, and Hogan sort of soft spoken, I guess, here, and just not he's not normally self. Yeah, it was just a different. It was a different. The way it was shot too was quite different than all the other stuff we've seen with him backstage.
Yeah.
It was with that headband as well. That was funny. And what's even funnier is in the next segment, Bobby Heenan says Hogan is only wearing black, no red anymore. Did you just see that last segment, Bobby?
For the love of God. Blade, anything to follow up here?
Yeah. So one thing that really caught my eye was that like when they're initially starting the promo, Hogan is like super awkward on the couch. It looks like he can't get comfortable to sit down. There's just a couple of seconds where I'm like, that's weird. That stands out to me a lot. I think there's something to be said for set dressing, and I felt like this locker room looked like Grandma's basement. It's like a pattern couch with a couple of like photo frames that looks like it has the generic art in them from when they were purchased. Like it doesn't suit what I would assume the NWO locker room should look like, right? It's not giving off badass or cool. It's kind of like, this is just what was in the room. I agree with Kev. Everyone was a bit more subdued, but Hulk was probably the one that stood out the most. Like he's kind of been a bit unhinged in his promos and a lot more like aggressive and vocal, and he's kind of just very relaxed here. I also just loved Hall calling out for some birthday cake at the end to reference the Booty Man thing. I'm like, what a prick! Like it's so good. It popped me hard. I fucking loved it.
Like at this point, Booty Man's just like at home crying because his best friend's turned on him. And the biggest takeaway that I've got there from you, Blade, is that what you're saying is that the Casper Event Center there in Casper, Wyoming, is a shithole, and they've got nothing good for them to work with.
Isn't that where Bischoff lives now?
I don't know. Is it Casper?
Yeah, I think he
is that where he goes fly fishing?
Yeah, I think so.
And Harvey Schiller fires him, and he goes fly fishing in Casper, Wyoming. How nerdy is that we know that? Oh yeah, Bischoff went fly fishing when he got fired. Fucking losers. Okay, moving forward, we got get to the halfway point of the Flair Savage United States title match. I didn't want to make you guys watch the whole thing because come on. We just watched Hog Wild and Saturday Night for the last episode, which is like nearly 4 hours worth of shit. So tune in halfway through this. This is, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest Nitro match in weeks. I know we had a Sting and Arn Anderson match a few weeks prior, but Savage and Flair is a main event for a pay-per-view. It was a good typical Savage and Flair match. These are stars. Look at them. Are they not stars? Come on. Blade, give me something here.
Yeah, I really loved this. I thought it was all very cool. I even loved Hogan showing up in the middle.
Yes, please let everyone know what actually happened here.
Yeah, so the match is going on normally. Hogan walks down. He's with a chair. You don't know which way he's going to go. You thought, well, I thought it would make sense that he's probably going to attack Rick because he's going to be facing him at Clash of the Champions. He goes for Macho Man instead. Waffles him with the chair. Nick Patrick comes out as the presiding referee is down. Flair's left alone in the ring. Blatantly cheats to put his feet on the ropes, which I was like, it's a bit overkill. Like he's being waffled with the chair, but he's securing the bag. He's doing what he's got to do. And I think it was really wrapped up really, really, really well by commentary. Bischoff questions Flair's loyalty to WCW and why he wasn't attacked. Brain says he doesn't need to call Johnny Cochran, another OJ reference. They seem to love these. To figure it out.
Sake, bro.
We need to get like an ongoing count for them, I think.
What's that now? 4?
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
Yep. Okay.
The last couple of months. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I thought this was, for what it was, and only seeing, the second half. Yeah, it was really good.
Excellent. Kev, what did you think of this?
When you mentioned that bit with Flair putting his feet on the ropes. Actually, this woman had her
Yeah.
holding the as well. So that was,
Yeah.
I laughed. I thought it was funny. This rivalry has been going for since WWF as well. That angle back then sort of has carried on to now in WCW. So I don't know if anyone remembers, but yeah, back when Flair was there, he had those doctored photos with him and Liz, and so this feud has been going on for years. And so yeah, it's always good when these two mix it up. That chair shot from Hogan is, I think, maybe the second one. It felt like it hit in the back of the head of Savage. That looked rough for me.
Yeah. Right on the crown of the head, but it kind of like,
But I think there's like a theme going on for the rest of this show, I think, into the pay-per-view, but where the referees just get fucking knocked down or this made it to look like idiots a lot in this next couple of matches. So this is like a theme we will find for the rest of it, where the referees going to get knocked down. And yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans going on. It's funny.
Honestly, there's nothing I love more in wrestling than a ref bump or a referee getting fucked up. Especially back in the day when the referees looked like regular people, not like now, where they look like they could fuck you up. But again, as I alluded to before, these are stars, Flair and Savage, right? To think that WCW will soon have DDP into a bigger name, Goldberg, Bret Hart comes over, Roddy Piper, Kurt Hennig, Rick Rude, Scott Steiner becomes Big Papa Pump. You got Raven, Brian Adams comes across, Bigelow's there at some point later on. 1998, the Warriors there. I mean, fucking hell, how do they fuck this up?
Just stacked.
Fucking AOL Time Warner, come on, man. They were stacked at this, this stage, and it was this stage within a year, and then 2 years. Fuck me, you got to be kidding me. But I like the fact that Hogan helps Flair win here, and it kind of maybe puts a bit of confusion into people's minds. Is Flair going to be the fourth guy? And I really loved when we went back to Brain, and he was like beside himself, and he was like pissed off with his notes and just like threw them. He's every single time he does something that stands out to kind of emphasize the emotion that he's feeling over the situation. So we don't get any footage of Hog Wild Brother on August the 10th, but we get some stills, and of course we need to watch the encore presentation. They do show footage of what happened after, though, with the Booty Man being beat down. And I want to say this, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but, with the NWO 2000 were formed, and Jeff Jarrett spray painted someone's back. Couldn't have fucked it up any worse. I've never seen somebody do the NWO spray paint on someone's back so bad like Jarrett did. And we'll find that out much later down this timeline on the nWBro's podcast. Who does it? Who spray paints a W like this? Like an upside down McDonald's logo. That's what Jarrett did. Hogan, he knew how to spray that fucking belt. And I just wanted to make that point right now. Kev, I want to ask you right now about Hogan walking out for this interview next. And, now they're opening up the venue to the NWO. So they're not stuck finding another way to get them out there, right? What did you think of Hogan coming out with Gene and having this promo?
All right. I've been waiting for this.
Oh, hello.
So last week, the week before, Blade's always come out with some informative stuff.
Oh, okay.
And Carl, I think last week you had some informative stuff.
Yes.
This promo from Hogan, I learned a lot from this. So Hogan mentions General Custer, who was an officer of the Civil War. So I've heard the name before, so I had to research what it was about. So he was is controversial against Native American Indians. And then he mentions Bill Clinton again. And then he says, followed by the condominiums being burnt, which refers to the Waco fires in 93, which I've heard about this. So I did some research on that too. And then apparently there's this sort of Christian cult called the Branch Davidians, who were like a doomsday cult. And they had a sort of like a farm or something. And then they had they were armed. And the FBI come in and tried to take him over, and then big shootout, and then 20 children died. And I was reading this like,
He's done his research.
I was like, wow, this is cool. And then and the music nerd I am, like the Davidians. I figured that's where the Machine Head, the band, got the name Davidian for their song from. So this promo from Hogan, I was like, thank you. I'm actually smarter for this promo from Hogan.
Blade, Kevin is out. He's upstaged here. Finally, you know what I loved when Kev started mentioning his research, and immediately Blade was nodding because Blade, you done the research too, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I already knew about Waco, and I was like curious to know what Hogan meant by that context, because a lot of stuff went down at Waco, and so I'm trying to fit it contextually into the promo, and I'm like, I feel like it's such a weird fucking reference to drop in, like,
you know what, Blake, you said so many times, like, they keep referencing all these things that are so inappropriate to be like. Like, what the fuck? Like, Mein Kampf, and now we're getting to like a shootout with a cult and people.
The OJ killed. Murder, fucking, like, yeah, it's wild.
Wrestling's fucking sick in the 90s, bro.
But then Hogan does all this references, and then at the end he said they're going to start categorizing the wrestlers and calls like Flair, was it this stupid little man?
Stupid little man. Oh my god, that was so lame, dude.
I didn't understand this at all, and he continues this as well, which is I'm not sure what
the stupid little man. Like, what a shit insult. Like, you find a better insult in like an elementary school, you know, on the Oval at lunchtime. But Blade, please continue. I'm sorry that I cut you off.
No, it's okay. I find it very interesting that Kev finished up with the categorize thing, because Hogan doubles down and fails to say the word categorize twice. And I was like, dude, he says it once and he stumbles and he realizes he's fucked it, and he does it again and he fucks it again, and then he moves on.
I wrote it down. And as you said it, I nearly spat my beer out. What the fuck did he say?
He says categorize.
Categorize, that's right. And then he corrected himself and said it again.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh. Look, what else did I say?
Who's the stupid little man now, Hogan?
Yeah, the stupid little man stuff. He calls Sting the Stinker and Lex Flexi Lexi. And I was like, oh, this
stinker.
Yeah.
Like, how old are you, cunt?
Oh, man.
It was such a weird promo. And I was like, okay, Hogan, he's not at his best here. Yeah, it was a bit of a bomb.
The stupid little man. Like, what I would say is, you know, why do they call him Nature Boys? Because he likes to chuck his shit in the woods, you know? The stupid little man. Like, such a weak insult. And I loved at the end when Hogan walked off, Gene said, I've got a very, very sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. So dramatic. Okay, let's move forward to the next segment here. So Eric is talking to the truck, and we find out that we're going to get, the Outsiders versus Sting and Luger. God damn it, I shouldn't drink beer when I'm doing this. Bobby stands up, right? The mayor mentioned that the NWO are going to come up and come out. Bobby is standing up, and he says, I want to know where they're coming from or I'm leaving. You know, they're not interested in you, Bobby. They come through the crowd, which I really liked. And out comes Luger and Sting with the referee. Sorry, out comes Luger with the referee. Sting's not there at the moment, but then he ends up showing up. I'm throwing this to you, Blade. Thoughts on the rest of this match and what happened?
Yeah, so I actually kind of like the fact that Team WCW got the upper hand early. Like, Luger's just freight training his way through them, which gets them a massive reaction from the crowd. Nick Patrick at this point, I feel like, is just kind of a bystander to everything, and it's just like, fuck it, this is a tornado tag match now, I don't give a shit. There was a question as to why there was no disqualification when Nash threw Sting over the top rope. Mm-hmm. Which to me, I guess, like I knew this was a thing, but as someone who came into watching wrestling at the point that I did, I'm like, that seems so bizarre that was like a DQ rule.
I was actually surprised that they said that because I thought that this was something from like the early 90s. I didn't realize that the over the top rope thing was still
around
active in 96. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Four Horsemen coming out to sort of make the save. The Outsiders bail out, and then we get that replay of Nick Patrick actually pulling Paul out of the way from the Stinger splash.
Now it's fucking confirmed, right?
Yeah, it's just so blatant.
Man.
It was really, really good. I was curious to see, like, were they going to do a straight rematch? And I'm kind of glad that they didn't, on the wake of having that match at Hog Wild. So, it was cool.
This is so like baiting ratings, like they weren't going to go for a proper finish here. It wasn't going to be a proper match. This is baiting ratings. Kev, anything to add here?
Yeah, I don't know why Sting and Luger would see that the referee's Nick Patrick and tell him to get the fuck out of here. You're not doing this one. Hightail it, like they swept along with it again.
Yeah, he fucking fucked off real quick, didn't he?
The commentators were asking about the whereabouts of Hogan as well during this match. It was just a brawl match, like pretty much no tagging. It was just a rogue match. But that pull from Nick Patrick. I love how he overacts everything when he does it. I love Nick Patrick.
He was always very good, wasn't he? Yeah. You know what? When it happened, I didn't notice it until the replay. So like, even I was like stupid and fooled at it. Did you guys notice it the first time it happened? Did you notice him pulling it, or did you notice it?
Yeah, I did, but it gave me that like, did that happen?
Right.
Then it was like, oh, okay, yeah, it definitely did happen. Yeah.
Right. There was one thing that I thought was funny afterward. Flair gets on the mic. He doesn't like Sting and Luger, but he'll play ball with them. And then he started talking about like who's gonna be like on the nWBro's case at Clash of the Champions. And I was very, very concerned that there was going to be a Kevin Nash versus Steve Mongo Michael match at Clash of the Champions. I said, please don't tell me Nash is facing Mongo in his first singles match. Did you worry about that too, guys?
Yeah.
I was like, don't fucking do that, please.
All the rest of them, I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. And then when they did that, I'm like, oh, shit.
Like, because I guess he would have said, like, Hall, Double A's got you, and Nash... Mongo, I'm like, no, please, no. I'll see an Arn Anderson Scott Hall match any day of the week, twice on Sunday, but please, no Mongo Nash match. Fucking hell. Honestly, no Mongo but you know what? I say that and I still get a kick out of any of his matches. It doesn't matter. He's fucking hilarious. Anyway, let's move on, guys. Clash of the Champions 33.
Context. Clash of the Champions was an American series of professional wrestling television specials that were produced by World Championship Wrestling and Jim Crockett Promotions from 1988 until 1997, you stupid twat. The specials were supercards comprising pay-per-view caliber matches on TBS, similar to the WWF's Saturday Night's Main Event. And if you honestly don't know this, what the fuck are you doing here, cockboy? It was a prestigious show till the WWE took the name in 2016 and called it Clash of Champions, without the word "the" in it. Yeah, probably a Vince McMahon call. The old cock-sucking dickbag.
So the Thursday of that week, on August 15th, Denver Coliseum, Denver, Colorado, 8,304 fans for a 3.5 TV rating. And I would say
we lost you for a bit, Carl.
Yeah, you froze up.
Yeah, something popped up on my screen for some reason. Let me
Porn?
No, it's one of my fucking annoying instant messenger things. Okay, that shouldn't come up again. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so there were two dark matches on the show that I want to let you both know about. Which I'm so disappointed that we didn't get to see. Rough and Ready defeated Jim Powers and Mark Starr. And the Nasty Boys defeated Hard Work, Bobby Walker, and Mr. JL. Damn it, boys. What a shame. So sarcastic. Okay. They show highlights from Nitro. Tony and Bobby are ranting. Blade, do you have anything to follow up here?
There was one thing that Bobby said here that I really liked. He qualifies that it's not about the Horsemen helping Luger and Sting. It's about WCW helping one another against the NWO.
That's cute.
I like that. I like the way he wrapped that up.
Very nice. Kev, do you have anything here?
Yeah, Clash of the Champions is basically what Tony Khan's trying to do with this Battle of the Belts. But he fails miserably because all these matches on this pay-per-view are not all predictable, and even if they are, you think who's going to win. There's something's happens in them to make that. You still have to watch this. It has still have that pay-per-view kind of feel. Whereas when AEW tried to do this similar thing, it just doesn't work.
That has never hit the way that Clash of the Champions did. I think it's only an hour long. Clash of the Champions is an hour and a half, but I reckon this was a Cody idea. Because he wanted to kind of do some WCW-esque things in the early AEW. But ever since the first one, all those matches were always so predictable, and it was always like 3 matches. And this is different. It feels different, right?
Yeah, it feels like a pay-per-view.
Yeah. It's like the WWE in your house, WWF in your house pay-per-views. I think they were 2 hours long.
And it definitely doesn't feel like they're going through the motions. There's actual storytelling in this. It's important to watch this to know what the hell's going on.
Exactly, because if you miss this, man, you're behind.
And the commentators did say something big is going to happen tonight in this first section as well.
Right, and you know what? That's another poignant thing. If you miss an episode of any of this shit, you are behind by so much. That's how I always felt back in the day. Now, you can go a couple months and nothing's really fucking changed. First match, boys. Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko. 12 minutes, 7 seconds. Kev, throwing it to you before we throw it to the world's biggest Dean Malenko fan.
Once again, they used Rey Mysterio in the first match again to get the crowd into the event, get a hot start. Once again, we got Mike Tenay joining the commentary, which is always appreciated. Malenko sort of attacks Rey before the bell. He's definitely come across as more of a heel now. I think this match is a lot more faster paced than the last match, especially at the beginning. It was hell for leather. But yeah, it went back to that sort of grounding from Dean, which makes a lot of sense. That somersault to the senton splash to the floor from Rey was it's amazing.
Fucking crazy cunt. I've got to stop saying the C word. I'm sorry. Keep going.
The referee make a mistake with Randy Anderson. He's kind of screwed Malenko at the end here, eh?
Oh, the controversial finish here.
Yeah, it's enough. Once again, as I said, the rest of there's so much ref involvement in all these matches. It's funny.
It's affecting the lay of the land.
Yeah. So a good match.
Very good. Blade, what did you think of Ray and Dino Machino?
Yeah, it was good. If I was comparing it to the last match, I actually probably preferred the last one. To be honest.
Yeah.
But I thought it was still very, very good. Braden was making me laugh on commentary. He's talking about the thin air in Denver. And then he likens it to Gene's hair. I was like, you fucking asshole. How dare you talk shit about Gene? What else was there? There's a brutal moonsault off the guardrail that Rey hits, and he catches Malenko in a really awkward position. It looked pretty brutal. Gutbuster from the top rope also looks brutal as well. I'm not sure how you protect someone on that, but I was just like, oof. That's going to be rough. And yeah, the controversial ending. I mean, the fans went nuts for it. So, I mean, it did its job.
It's completely screws Dean Malenko. It's so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, no, and again, I think these two have really good chemistry. Just those clash of styles. I think they go very well together.
I agree. I think they probably did this to have another reason for us to see another match between them, because they clearly, it's clearly working. I started laughing as Blade was talking because I didn't realize what my first note said until I read it. Clearly, at this point when I was watching it, I'd had a couple of beers. Malenko's theme song plays, and as it builds, I can imagine Blade's dick getting harder and harder. Dun, 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 dun. That's terrible. That's terrible. Ray comes out with his entrance. I can sense that Ray has been working out more because it feels like God, this is such a gay thing to say, but his pecs looked more solid. It looked like he'd been working out. Like he's okay.
There's some more definition there.
Yeah, I want to look like a muscly teenager instead of just a teenager. As he was walking, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but he was walking, high-fiving the fans, and one fan put his hand out and patted the belt, the title belt, right on the plate. It looked like he patted Ray on the cock, honestly. That'll be in the picture below. It looked like the hand touched his dick.
Fuck's sake.
I love what was the comment here? Every time we see Mysterio perform, we see something new. It was one guy back then doing this stuff. Yes, Ultimate Dragon, Psychosis, etc. They're doing some great shit too. But Ray's getting featured here, right? He is the one that is doing something new every single time, which is why he's getting over. They're not having 5 or 6 guys doing something new constantly. They're just focusing on the one guy. That's why it means something back then. That's why it doesn't mean so much now. Malenko's gutbuster off the fucking top rope is absolutely fucking insane, man. The way he throws him up and then jumps off the top rope and then puts his knee out and he just fucking hell. How do you do that without hurting him? Honestly. But I did like the finish, and I bet Dave Meltzer complained about it. We're gonna slim
on Blade's point. On Blade's point regarding the match, I think this match was your TV match, and then the last one was your pay-per-view match, and I think that's why they're both enjoyable. But I think that last one they got the time to do what they wanted to do, where this is more of a taster.
That's
right. A very astute observation, Kevin.
Very, very, very astute. So we get a Slim Jim advert, guys. You have Savage, Randy Savage doing the Slim Jim advert. Now we have LA Knight and Bianca Belair doing it. Who would you prefer? Oh yeah, snipping a Slim Jim. Come on. I like LA Knight, but come on, get the fuck out of here. All this podcast is going to be is just us shitting on current day stuff and talking about how great this is. Blood Runs Cold again. Good stuff. Let's move forward, guys. VK Wallstreet, formerly IRS, taking on Hacksaw Jim Duggan in a match that goes only 3 minutes and 48 seconds. I was surprised. I thought it went longer than that, and that's not a knock on the match. Kev, what did you think?
Yeah, VK Wallstreet is, I think he's quite underrated the way he sells, and he's just a pro. That's what I put in my notes. I think these two guys are just pros, and it's just a quick little match, but it's a pro wrestling match, and it's just everything was executed well. A completely different match than the one before. I put my notes again. I said, "What's up with these refs? I can't remember what happened here again. Maybe you can fill me in."
Wait, do you have anything here?
Is this something with the tape again from Duggan?
Yeah. So Duggan gets the tape out at the end.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But yeah, there's something the ref done something again in this match. I can't remember it. For some reason.
Well, hang on. Was Hacksaw trying to tape up the taped fist, and then the referee got caught up in the tape?
Yeah, VK Wallstreet pulls him down, and then the ref kind of gets tangled up in it as well.
I thought it was really good, to be honest. It was a creative way of getting to the finish.
Yeah, but that's what for me. I put my notes. I said, "What's up with these refs? Every match, just something's going on here." It's funny.
Blade, do you have anything else to add here?
Denver loved Hacksaw. He got such a huge reaction. And he seems to get a pretty consistent reaction wherever he goes, to be honest. I like that they kind of run down on commentary that these two guys have a history, which I didn't know about. So, for me, contextually, that's, good stuff to know. Mm-hmm. I talked about the tape, obviously, with the ending. And then right at the end, before they cut away, Hacksaw's in the ring, and he's just going, "It stinks, it stinks." And it reminds me, and I made a Simpsons reference last week, and I have to do it again. The 22 short films about Springfield.
I love that episode.
They got Jay Sherman, the critic, and then there's just him like in the hospital, and he's like, "It stinks, it stinks." And he's like, "Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Everything stinks." Last week is the inanimate carbon rod.
Yeah.
Oh, Blade, I love you, bro. Yeah, you know what? I like this because we've got two WWF legends opening the show, future Hall of Famers. You tune into this. Oh, that's Jim Duggan. That's fucking IRS. Wicked. Cool. Eyeballs. But clearly Bischoff's trying to bring in as many of these former WWF guys that got, I guess, kicked to the curb when the New Generation era began. Apparently, Bischoff tried to hire Tatanka as well. I don't know why Tatanka didn't sign with them, because you didn't see him again from 96 until when he came back to WWE in like 2000.
I never really got into him at all, though. I never got into him.
Nah. He's whatever. I thought the match was perfectly wrestled. I don't care what Dave Meltzer has to say about this. I bet you he hated this. I mean, well, it didn't go 4 minutes. I mean, my God, and Jim Duggan was just terrible out there. He got a reaction day, so fuck you.
And he gives it 5 stars this week, and he says
I like the fact that Fall Brawl is a little bit further away than the last few pay-per-views. It seems like they've all been around the corner. And Randy Ella, the referee, I could have interviewed him for the Insider's Edge podcast, but he kept on forgetting every single time we set the date. So sorry, Randy. Would have loved to have you on, but you're welcome to join us here on the nWBro's podcast at some point if you want to talk about this situation with Duggan and VK Wallstreet, which no one's going to give a shit about. Anyway, let's move forward, boys. Nasty boys. We're the nasty boys. We're the boys. Blade, I'm throwing to you. What did you think about the Nasty Boys making a nasty statement?
I'm so fucking sick of this shit. They've said the same thing for like the last 4 weeks. Like, we get it. You're all about the Nasty Boys. It's not about WCW or the NWO. You're doing things nasty. They want a tag title shot. Why? How do you fucking deserve that? Mean Gene begging, please, as Knob sandwiches him in between him and Sags made me laugh. It's just like, no, please don't crush me. I don't give a shit. Like, I just the fact that they've said the same thing like 4 times. I fucking get it. Like, I don't give a shit. Either join the NWO or fuck off. Like, it's really bugging me.
But Blade, they're nasty. Are you aware?
Yes, I am aware that they are nasty. Fucking Sags and Knobs, man, remind me of like 2 Deros panhandling for like loose change and cigarettes down at the local shops.
That's really rude, Blade. I mean,
you become
real judgmental. We're in episode 9. Imagine episode 50.
Oh yeah, man, I'm gonna be ripping on fucking everyone.
They want the titles and will smash some stinking heads. Kev, what did you think of this interview?
Yeah, I didn't have much notes here because like Blade said, there was nothing really here again. There's nothing new. There's no new information. I just found Mean Gene funny, his facial expressions with him too. But that's really all I had. I didn't really have much to say here.
Well, their loyalty lays with Nastyville.
Are we following it on with a Mean Gene backstage hotline advert? Is that
yes, that's
in the same section. This was one of the best, I thought.
Please keep going, Kev.
It's more bullshit that he got interrupted by the Outsiders, and they gave him some exclusive information that you can hear on the hotline. Okay.
Yeah, like
that just happened as well. They reckon it just happened during the break, so he just got the scoop. Yeah. So yeah, so good.
One thing I did want to mention, now that Blade's mentioned how much the Nasty Boys talk about being nasty, Nastyville, and the Nasty Boys, you've got to watch an episode. I think it's Man versus Food. and they have the Nasty Boys on an episode to do one of
That's
the
cool.
eating challenges. The amount of times that they talk about being nasty, you have to watch it. Honestly, I'm like, all right already, fucking hell.
What's the gimmick of the Nasty Boys? I always got the impression that they're kind of like that 80s sort of punks, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that I just thought that they were guys that didn't shower or something. You know, like,
I was literally about to say the
Really?
same thing. Yeah.
yeah, because Knobs has that pit stop thing where he sticks the armpit in the face, and everyone sells it like it's a gunshot to the head. I always had a great idea for a tag team in an Australian wrestling company, and call them the Pasty Boys. And the shirt that they have? It's just like yellow and red, like tomato sauce and mustard. Is that terrible or what?
Yeah.
No reaction from either of you. Let's move forward, guys. This is a crime right here, but maybe not so much a crime. Ultimate Dragon takes on Konnan here. Match only goes 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Kev, what did you think?
Nick Patrick, referee again. I liked the little addition to the mask from Ultimate Dragon. He's had the tongue on his mask. I thought that was
Very
pretty
well
cool.
noticed.
Konnan with a cheap win. He's sort of gone to that more of a heel. I liked when Konnan wrapped him up in the sort of like that lock on the floor, and Heenan said he's going to post him somewhere. I thought that was funny. Once again, the referee made it look like a bit of an idiot here again. He missed the tight pull from Konnan, and Konnan with a quick win. I don't know, the refs are imbeciles here.
Blade, anything to add here?
Yeah, I thought Tenay was awesome on commentary. He provides history that Dragon and Konnan have actually tagged together many times in Mexico, apparently. And also the history of Dragon initially failing a bit in Japan and then being turned away by some of the dojos and then building up his success and his profile. Although he does go on to say that apparently Dragon's biggest accomplishment is he popularized the Asai moonsault. I thought probably not at this point.
Oh, Blade, I'm going to correct you.
Oh.
His real name is Yoshihiro Asai.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I was actually thinking about that as you said that. I was like, I might let the guys know that the Asai moonsault's named after his surname.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just said it, so.
Well, there you go.
Excellent stuff. Keep going.
Yeah, so I said Sonny fires off some impressive kicks on Konnan. I was like, damn. Dragon
Is he a black belt?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, those are some lethal kicks. Dragon moonsaults on the Konnan's back. I was like, that's interesting. You don't usually see that. It's like stomach to stomach. And then, Konnan rolls through and uses the trunks. It was very quick. I like now that you've said that it was like 2 minutes?
2 minutes 57.
Yeah, that's
Can you believe
wild.
it?
Yeah. Nick Patrick currently is being questioned everything he does. Every single thing.
So he should.
It's great.
He's been fucking blatant lately, that's for sure. I want to say this, Kev. I think Konnan's theme song, it sounds like a Hail Mary riff. Don't you reckon?
I wish I made that riff up.
Wish you came up with it.
Yeah.
It was a shame.
It's great wrestling music. It's a great wrestling music riff.
I think the last 4 episodes we've mentioned how great Konnan's theme song is.
Yeah. And maybe it doesn't suit him per se,
doesn't.
but it's a kick-ass riff. I'm sure that will get regurgitated later on by someone else. When Konnan changes his music.
Well, let's make sure we keep note of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add here other than, anytime Ultimo Dragon's wrestling, I want to see more. So 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the same way Blade feels about Dean Malenko with Ultimo Dragon. I get excited when he comes on now. I'm like, yeah, here we go.
Excellent, bro. Excellent. Okay. Well, hopefully I'll find my excitement too.
Hopefully Carl will share his boner story about you when Ultimo Dragon comes out next time.
You know what's giving me a boner though? Compuserv, everybody. We go back to CompuServe, and again, Ice Train is backstage on the computer. But what should have happened on WCW Saturday Night on August the 10th, excuse me, just before Hog Wild Brother on August the 10th. This is what should have happened. Scott Norton attacks Ice Train whilst he's on the computer. You know what I would have loved, guys? He attacks Ice Train. Ice Train's so keen on being on the computer. He attacks Ice Train, beats him down, leaves him laying, walks off. It would have been so great if Ice Train slowly climbed back up and got back on the computer and just kept back to doing what he was doing because he's so keen on being on CompuServe. Anything to add here, boys? I'm guessing not.
He still looks really excited to be on there.
I just don't know why they didn't do this at the pay-per-view instead of, the next night, but whatever. Shall we move forward? What the fuck was this, though? I don't get it. Meng versus Savage. Savage isn't coming out as Meng's in the ring with Jimmy Hart. Gene comes out. At least the broadcasters are constantly involved in things. He wants to get the scoop. We find out Savage is not here and Meng wins. And I'm like, they could have done that better, couldn't they? Like, would they not know ahead of time he wasn't going to perform? Like, how do they find out at the last fucking minute? To me, is like, again, I don't know. They're firing on all cylinders in many different areas of the creative, but then there's just a little thing here and there. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, if this were real, how do you not know Savage won't be there because of the chair shot from Hogan? Blade, do you have anything to follow up here?
No, it was all just a bit strange. Like, I don't know why this was a segment necessarily.
What's the point?
Yeah, it felt like a bit of a time filler. And I was like, you could have easily given that to some other match or whatever. I don't know.
One of these matches that hang on.
2 minutes 57.
Only Ray and Dean went over 10 minutes. The prior two matches didn't, one didn't go over 4 minutes, one didn't go over 3 minutes. This is a bit of a waste of time. Kev, anything to add?
Yeah, the same could have been achieved with just the commentary talking about this was the scheduled match, but due tonight because of the incident with the chair shots from Hogan, they could have showed that, and that would have saved Meng coming out and all that kind of.
Because if I was a fan watching this on telly, I'd be like, fuck off. Like, don't waste my fucking time.
Kind of disappointing because a Meng versus Macho Man would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I was actually really excited.
Yeah, I was like, cool. I don't think I've ever seen these guys wrestle. And it's like, shit.
I was like, shit, geez, Savage going to hit the big elbow and Meng and get the win? That'd be fucking interesting to see. How's he going to handle this monster? Anyway, let's move forward, boys. Gene interviews the Dungeon. Again, Sullivan hits Hogan hard. Jimmy says the Dungeon are the strongest force in WCW. Fuck off, mate. You've got the Leprechaun. Come on. So the Leprechaun is there, but I was confused as to why Max Muscle and the Giant were not a part of the proceedings here. Kev, anything?
No, there's not much to say here. I'm kind of getting the same feeling that that Blade has with the Nasty Boys with the Dungeon of Doom. It's just, I just don't understand what the hell's going on. This Leprechaun's running around like he's got rabies again, and the camera, and it's just so dumb. I can't wait till that's all wrapped up and we don't have to put up with this anymore.
Are leprechauns like that? I mean, they're not real, but like, Blade, you're a nerd. I'm sure you've seen a lot. You've watched a lot of things that have weird characters in it, like leprechauns. A leprechaun's you know everything as well. A leprechaun's known to be like rabid like that because. I just thought that they, were worried about the pot of gold and shit.
Well, there's like kind of the two interpretations of them, right? There's like the Lucky Charms leprechaun, which is like the kind of cartoonish, like, colorful, protects the pot of gold thing. Then you've got like sort of the more, I guess, horror interpretation of the leprechaun. They did those like Leprechauns movies, and they're essentially like that. I'm actually surprised that this is not a tie-in to one of those movies. It might be, in fact. I have no idea.
Right.
But
I don't know.
In one of those movies, I can't remember if it's Leprechauns 2 or 3, you can see a young Jennifer Aniston. So, there you go.
I didn't know that there was a Leprechauns 1.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Is it a nude scene?
I don't know. I've never actually watched them. I'm just aware of their existence.
Because if it's not nude scene, I'm not watching it.
The only thing I remember about leprechauns in film is was it Mike Myers? Was it in Wayne's World where he's like, I'm the leprechaun, you know? That's the only thing I remember. That leprechaun is not like this one. Anyway, let's just stop talking about leprechauns. I can't believe you brought this up, Blade. It was me, clearly. Let's move forward. Madusa, Bull Nakano, 2 minutes and 42 seconds. That's fucking hilarious, man. What the fuck? It's an hour and a half show, and so many matches aren't even going over 3 minutes or 4 minutes. I can't remember who I started with last time, so I'm starting with Kev. What did you think of the ladies here?
Once again, the referee looks like an idiot. Paul's got the nunchucks in the ring. It's just totally oblivious what's going on.
It's Randy Eller again.
Yeah, the crowd popped when Madusa took out Sonny Onoo. They really enjoyed that. And then we got the ending with Sonny. It almost looked like he did it on purpose. He kicked Bull, and then that was it. Caused Madusa to win. But yeah, once again, the referees. I don't know what's wrong with them tonight.
Yeah, weak finish too. I must say that little kick from Sonny Onoo. I mean, look, he's a black belt, but he's so little. His little legs are so cute. Like, there's no way that fucking really could hurt Bull Nakano. Blade, what did you think?
Yeah, I don't know if they necessarily needed to go back to the well so quickly on this one, especially because it felt like it wasn't too much of a variation on their Hog Wild match on August 10th, brother. You know, sans the motorbikes. Brain says Bull looks like a charming woman. Medusa and those hair toss cells. I mean, I know we talked about it last time, but Jesus Christ. Like a rag doll.
Well, didn't someone say like a frisbee? Wasn't it Bobby who's like a frisbee?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was a sloppy looking crossbody from Medusa. That was a bit awkward.
What the fuck happened there? I don't know.
Just completely ate shit. I don't know. It was fine.
2 minutes 42.
Yeah. Again, it's
not much time to do much with it, but honestly, as Kev mentioned, Randy Eller did such a shit job of not noticing the nunchucks. Like, he fucking belted her in front of him, and he like turned away. Like, for what? For what? Like, you saw them in a hand, dickhead.
It's an interesting point. As like, is this sort of ushering in or like the precursor to ref stupidity? Because like that was sort of that era of stuff, right? Where it's like, oh, the referees are particularly dumb and like not noticing shit, and it sort of breaks that like level of reality where you're like, how could you not have fucking seen that? Like, that dude has a chainsaw. Like,
I reckon you're right, man. I reckon this is where it's starting to be like, okay, we're gonna make the referees even more dumb than usual. I think that Madusa should have hit the bridging German suplex instead of a roll up from this, because that little kick wasn't going to be enough for me. And I just think, man, Sonny Onoo's having a bad night. Gene backstage with Flair, Woman, and Liz. Blade, anything to take away from this?
No, I mean, pretty standard fare. Flair runs down why he wants the title. You know, he wants to prove that he's the best at what he does. Gene shooing away Woman at one point. He's just like, stop touching me. And then she goes back to doing it anyway, like 30 seconds later.
Yeah. I noticed that Gene didn't have many shenanigans going on with this one this time.
No, he seemed all business.
NWO thing's really getting to him.
Yeah, he's not the cavorting playboy that we know him to be. Poor Gene. But yeah, no, it was, I mean, it's a Flair promo, so it's always going to be, you know, of a certain quality, I think.
Yeah, I liked it when Flair said names don't change. It's just the date and the year. It's wanting to be at the pinnacle. Very nice. Kev, anything to follow up here?
Yeah, I like I like women's. It was just a hand, just doing this, and then he keeps looking down. It's just a funny dynamic with them too. Yeah, there wasn't much to say here. Flair just was his usual little. You don't like it, you got to learn to love it. I love that. That's a good line. Yeah, it's good stuff from Flair.
Lovely jubbly. The next matchup, Diamond Dallas Page and the Lord of the Ring. The ring is on the line here against Eddie Guerrero. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Again, another very short match. Kev, anything to say here?
I really enjoyed this match for what it was. I feel like I just wanted a bit more time with this. I was really enjoying the chemistry between DDP and Eddie Guerrero. I love when DDP was coming out with his Nirvana rip-off music, and there was a kid in the crowd on his dad's shoulders, like headbanging to it. It's like, that's pretty cool. that was cool. Eddie with his music, his Turner Library generic music number 141.
Yeah,
it's terrible. That gutbuster DDP doesn't like. I don't know. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. It's a lot of his movesets. So sick.
The Gutbuster. I always thought it was a fucking tremendous Gutbuster. That's a nerdy comment there, but
I think DDP is super underrated as a wrestler. Like you could put him in with a cruiserweight, and you can put him in with anyone, and it always looks good. And he's just, I think he's very, very underrated. I remember watching a match. It was him against the Viano 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Go your way to watch this match. It's fucking so sick. It's a quick match, 5-minute match, but it's 2-on-1, and it's a wicked match. I like how DDP gets his heat back at the end here when he gets beat with Guerrero's frog splash getting the victory. So DDP ends up trying to go for the handshake, and then he gets the diamond cutter, and then he gets the super diamond cutter after Chavo tries to do the save, which he fails miserably. But yeah, I like how DDP got his heat back at the end here, even after he got beaten and lost. It was good.
That was probably the right decision. You know, I've got a theory, Kev. I reckon DDP and Konnan fucking at the power plant work on shit together because they both have such really cool movesets, and they do these different moves that you don't see from anyone else. And, you know, Konnan was known as the innovator of offense. DDP, I could see them to, you know, they're bros, you know, they're both from the Jersey Shore, part of the Jersey Triad. Totally could see Konnan being an influence on DDP at that point in time. Blade, do you have anything to say here?
Yeah, just I thought, you know, that initial reaction when Eddie comes out, he's really over in Denver, which is really cool. Wins the Battle Bowl ring, which I don't know what the Battle Bowl is. Is it like King of the Ring? That's kind of the impression.
It's like, oh man, it'll take too long to explain. I believe it was at Slamboree. They did like a whole thing where there was like a round robin tournament or some shit, and I think it ended in a battle royal, and DDP won it. I think he eliminated the Barbarian to win it.
It doesn't mean much.
No. Well, here's the thing. He won the ring, and he was supposed to challenge the Giant for the world championship at I think the pay-per-view that he wrestled Lex, Great American Bash, but it didn't happen. They changed their mind, which is a good idea. DDP is not ready for a main event of a pay-per-view against the Giant at this stage, but that's just something that I read. Was there anything else you had to say, Blade?
No, I was just curious about that as a thing. So yeah, cool.
And I thought that the diamond cutter off the ropes looked a little bit dangerous. Hogan comes out, rips on Gene. So Blade, I'm sure you picked up on this. Did you hear Hogan flub a line here?
Yeah, he stumbled on the word depends.
Okay, that's not what I had written down here.
Okay.
Yeah. He said, only one man will be the Babe Ruth of wrestling, the Michael Jordan of basketball, the Hulk Hogan of wrestling. A bit of the Babe Ruth of baseball? or the Michael Jordan of wrestling? Like, pick one of them. And he reckons that the stupid little man is someone who couldn't get the job done. And he even roughs Gene up a little bit. Blade, do you have anything to add here?
Yeah, the only thing is at the end, Gene goes, if he does that again, I might need some help, and grabs at the backside of his pants. And anytime someone references shitting themselves, that gets a laugh from me.
Imagine
I
being
fucking
that
love
scared that you actually shit. Like, Kev, anything here?
Yeah, I mean we've been saying for weeks that Gene seems to get a free pass, and it seems like that's run out now. So poor Gene now, he's getting threatened now. So it's over. He had a good run. Let's be honest.
We'll see what happens in future. We get another Blood Runs Cold vignette. Just debut him already.
That blood is frozen by now, I think.
Poor Glacier. Okay, I fucking love this. I love this. The Giant and Chris Benoit, 23 seconds. Kev.
Meltzer's having a fucking heart attack with
Oh,
this.
can you imagine?
He's so upset with this, I bet you. All I put was that Benoit is so believable as a smaller wrestler. Just the way he carries himself, and just the way he looks at the Giant, there's like no fear whatsoever. Like I'm gonna have a go here. That Benoit getting his coat stuck with women holding it, that was a little sort of put the seeds of doubt that I mean, it was women did it on purpose, which I think the commentary team did mention. That was a monster choke slam. Really, really good way to end it.
Wasn't that the biggest fucking choke slam you've ever seen?
Yeah.
I've never seen someone that fucking high up. Like,
yeah.
Holy shit. Flay, do you have anything to add?
No, I was just like, if we had that discussion about the world's worst choke slam from Giant, this is going to be like one of the best. Like, holy fuck, he reefs Benoit so high. Like, because you got to think, he's like 7 foot, and then he's holding him up here. Like, what's that got to be? Like,
That'd
9,
be like 10 something.
Yeah, 9-10 foot in the air. Like, holy shit. And then brings him down, like, pretty hard as well. Yeah, no, that was crisp. And at the end, I just love the, signifying that there's now 3 left to go.
Yeah.
To go the Horsemen. I thought that was cool.
Very nice. Yeah, dude. I bet that they practiced that beforehand, and Giant was like, oh shit, this is going to be a good choke slam. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, yeah, the difference between that and the Rick Steiner choke slam on the concrete. Come on. Fuck. WCW World Tag Team Titles. We've got a triple threat one here. What was it? A triangle?
Triangle match.
Triangle. Which does that mean like 3 are in the ring at all times?
No.
No? Why did I think that?
I always think that's a weird rule, to be honest with you. Why would they tag another team that's not theirs to get them in the ring to potentially win the match? I always thought that was an odd thing.
That is a good point. So this match does go 13 minutes and 22 seconds. So we finally get a match over 10 minutes here. I'm starting with Kev here. What did you think of the tag title match?
This is really good. All these guys are just phenomenal. Like the way they just put it together. This is tag team wrestling. I thought it was strange. Colonel Parker came out like later. I don't know what was going on there. And here we are again. We got dodgy Nick Patrick as the referee. I'm waiting for him to screw Luger and Sting, which he doesn't. The crowd are really into this. But Rick Steiner's got his lariat clothesline. There's no one else does it the way he does it. It's just
that Steiner line.
Yeah, it's so unique. The closest we got is his son now, Bron Breakker. Kind of, he didn't do it, but that is very unique, and I love that clothesline. Sting pressed Booker over his head like he was nothing.
Can you believe it?
I was like, what the hell? I thought these 3 teams had great chemistry. Then we got obviously the outsiders come out. And then Patrick actually screws Scott Steiner. If this is Scott Steiner in a couple of years, he would absolutely have murdered him. Like, I'm not on live TV for doing that. So, so it was a good match.
Yeah, and just for some context out there for everyone, the outsiders did come out, but Nick Patrick called for the bell after Scott Steiner hit the Frankensteiner. As he's gone for the count, he sees the outsiders and calls for the bell. So now they're like, keep the fucking Steiners away from the belts. They don't. I'm thinking the outsiders don't want anything to do with the Steiners. That's just in the back of my mind. I don't know if that's an actual thing. Blade, do you have anything here?
No, I thought Kev covered it pretty well. Like this was just a good match with like some really cool stuff. I thought there was some really like solid, crisp looking suplexes in here as well, which is really nice. And then yeah, Nick Patrick gets himself in all sort of entanglements again and leads very nicely into the next segment.
Yep. I did think it was a little bit of a this kind of match is designed to be a messy thing. It's fine. But I did enjoy it. All you can hear is the gravelly voice of Sherry at ringside. She and Woman really are at the top of their game as far as being outside influences during matches. They talk about Sting and Luger versus Flair and Arn on Nitro. I bet the NWO get involved with that. They talk about Macho's going to face the Giant, and there's going to be a rematch with Duggan and VK Wallstreet. All these things ongoing whilst these guys are trying to deal with the NWO. I like it. Don't really have anything else to say here except imagine throwing the Young Bucks in this match to make it a 4-way. Imagine them against those three teams. Can you it would be so insulting back then, but these days it'd be like, no, the Young Bucks are better than fuck you. All right.
They would
Nerd.
die. They would die. The Steiners would have killed them.
They would kill them, dude.
Oh my god.
I would love to see the Young Bucks against the Faces of Fear, dude.
Man.
Imagine them like selling for them. But anyway, I was laughing at Scott manhandling Nick Patrick. Gene is with Nick Patrick with an interview here. Blade.
Yes.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. Nick Patrick was really well spoken. Like better spoken than like half the wrestlers. Like Jesus Christ, give that man a managing job or something. He's like, no, everything is above board. He's like, it takes a good referee to see two things happen at once, and be able to make the call. Like, I thought it was really well done. And then I just love Gene's comment as he walks away saying, I've noticed those Armani suits you've been getting delivered. They look real nice. As he leaves, I was like, nice. Gene, so Gene's on the money. He knows his business.
Gene's that perceptive. He's noticed the change in his suits. Kev, anything here?
No, just same as Blade. That Nick Patrick's a great talker. To be honest with you, he's really good. He's always been my favorite referee as far as the ref work and what he presents as actually a character. I think he's great. I think he could done way more. I think he just goes back to being a referee again after this, doesn't he? Later down the track. I'm pretty sure Nick Patrick was trained as a wrestler as well.
He was a wrestler, yeah.
Or he's got some sort of background in that. So that he may have in the past when he was doing that had some promo time because you don't just get that good overnight, I guess. So
no.
But kudos to him. He was great.
Actually, in the July edition of WCW Magazine, Gene Okerlund talks about in a little article about Nick Patrick and how he used to be a wrestler. And you can check out the video of me talking about the July edition of WCW Magazine on this channel. Just have a look. It's not far. Right. I don't think I have anything else to add there. So let's move forward to the main event of the evening. Hollywood Hogan, world title, Nature Boy Ric Flair, 8 minutes and 23 seconds. Again, I'm starting with Blade because I think before I went to Kev twice in a row, so I felt really bad about it. So Blade, I'm giving you the floor again.
I think the first thing I really noticed it feels like the crowd's reaction to Hogan is slowly shifting. I didn't notice as many audible cheers as there have been previously. It seemed to be slightly more balanced. Just taking in the fact that this is two of wrestling's biggest names having a match, like regardless, like holy shit, Hogan and Flair is huge. Flair slaps Hogan at one point and I laughed. Just the disrespect. Hogan throws a tantrum as well at one point outside of the ring, which I thought was really good. That's very un-Hulk Hogan-like behavior.
Yeah.
I noticed the fans still got excited when Hulk hulks up and does his thing. There was still a pretty big reaction for that. They still love that part of Hulkamania. There's the dirty finish, and the Outsiders come out and attack Flair. Horseman, Sting, and Luger run down to make the save. And then they're sort of talking in the ring. Sting shoves Flair at some point. But we can't discern what's being said. And then to wrap it all up very nicely, the announcer fucks up the call to the end of the match.
Dave Penzer,
that was my observations.
Right. Okay, Kev.
For me, the seeds of doubt with women at ringside maybe think that maybe she might screw Flair for some reason. I don't know why I thought that. I think it was what happened with Benoit kind of gave me that. Did something happen here? But no, obviously didn't. These guys are doing barely anything in the ring, just simple stuff, and the crowd's eating it up. They just Hogan can go outside the ring and walk away from him for a bit, come back in. They're doing barely anything, and they got the crowd there. It's magical. So we had at the end there with Sting and Flair. After Sting made the save, helped him out, and then they started arguing, pushing each other. I thought that was funny. Just a classic Hogan and Flair match. They just played all the greatest hits, and they don't have to do much. They're just stars, as you said before, Carl. They're pros, and they can just do very minimal. And
that's it. That's all it is. But the thing that was nice about this, it was the first time you see Flair versus Hogan where the roles are reversed. Flair's the babyface, Hogan's the heel. But it's still classic though, right?
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you guys as well. What do you think about Hogan hulking up as a bad guy?
Oh, yeah, I had it in my notes. I wrote it as we were talking about it. I thought it was so out of place. He shouldn't be hulking up.
So did I. No.
It's over. And I bet you afterward, he probably thought, you know what? That's probably not.
I think when you do that massive shift of what Hogan done, it all the stuff needs to just die.
That needs to fuck off. It needs to fuck off, man.
You're going to be doing absolutely nothing of what the old Hogan did, because that's a face thing to do. Like, I don't know. I didn't understand why he did that.
Yeah, I reckon it was probably another one of those lessons learned for Hulk. When they did the first, vignettes of the NWO, paid announcements and all that. I think Hogan's still finding his footing, I think, so far early into his heel run. And I think lessons are being learned as time's wearing on. He's probably in the fucking limo with Nash and Hall, who are used to going in those long, limo rides and giving feedback with the click and all that. They always give each other feedback on their stuff. I think they were always kind of patting Hogan with this feedback and saying comments like, maybe you don't need to do that anymore, bro. You got this new thing going on. You don't need to hang your hat on spots from the 80s and early 90s. I feel like this made Hogan versus Flair feel fresh because of the roles being reversed. Not much else to add here, really. I thought that I expected the match to go a bit longer because but you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. Who cares? Honestly, I didn't even realize throughout this whole fucking show that most of the matches didn't go over 10 minutes, and it didn't bother me at all. Now if a match in AEW doesn't go over 15 minutes, fans are all like, "Oh, that match was short, bro. Get a grip." It's honestly back in these days, no one gave a fuck about that stuff. That's all I've got to say. Clash of the Champions 33. I want a rating out of 10 from Kev.
It's hard to say with this because it's not paid for you, but I found I enjoyed the show because it was shorter. If we're just going off just enjoyability, I'm going to give it an 8 because I did enjoy the show. I mean, there wasn't like these long matches. There wasn't these pay-per-view style matches. So it was kind of like I judged it on a show, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, sorry, Blade. Excuse me.
I think I'm gonna go a 7. I do feel like there were a couple of decisions, just like for example with the Meng and Savage thing, where I'm like, that was sort of unnecessary. Just bits and bobs that I was like, did we need that again, or did we need to do that? Brought it down for me a little bit, but I still thought it was pretty solid.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to echo that 7 out of 10. And it's just middle of the ground. It helps continue the stories, and I believe there's only 2 more Clash of the Champions after this before they end the TV specials. But I'll just quickly go to cagematch.net. 5.12 out of 10 from 32 votes. Who gives a shit? 38 votes on IMDb, 6.9 out of 10. So the IMDb users are a bit more of a fan of the show. Quickly going to run through the star ratings from Dave Meltzer on this one. First and foremost, Ray and Dean, what do you know? 3 3/4 stars. Wallstreet and Duggan got a dud, even though it was a perfectly wrestled match. Konnan and Ultimo Dragon, 1 1/4 star. Madusa and Bull Nakano, half a star. Eddie versus DDP, 2 stars. The Giant versus Chris Benoit was deemed a dud. Whatever. It served its purpose. Like it didn't need to be any more than. What do you want? What do you want, Dave? What you want Benoit to hit the triple German and the Giant? Fuck off.
A 50-50 match.
Yeah, that's what he wants. 1 3/4 stars for the the triangle tag match, and half a star for Hogan versus Flair, but we know he hates Hogan. So anyway, boys, there we go. We come to the end of Clash of the Champions 33 and the August 12th Nitro from 96. But now we have to find out, Kev, Blade, what Dave Meltzer had to say. That's right, it's time to find out what did Dave Meltzer say.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'd have to give that 5 stars.
Rumor has it that Mabel is going to be the third guy. Here we go. I believe this is from the August 26th edition of the Wrestling Observer. There's a few things to say here. According to several sources, WWF is considering adding a weekly Saturday night pay-per-view show. A weekly Saturday night? Really? The experimental 1-hour show will be done live every Saturday night from New York City starting at midnight and be heavily aimed at an adult audience, more like ECW, and push the envelope. Okay, so he's talking about Shotgun Saturday night. It wasn't a pay-per-view, dickhead. WWF has floated the idea to pay-per-view providers, and so far none have expressed much interest. The ideas for the show to be $9.95 each week. I don't believe this. Dave crunches the numbers and estimates they would probably have to do around 62,000 buys each week in order to break even. I'm not even going to finish off that fucking paragraph. Who cares? Sorry, boys. Who cares? Let's get to the real stuff here, which involves WCW. Dave says the reason WWF is attempting this likely stems from the fact WCW is absolutely kicking their ass in the adult market ratings. 80% of Nitro's viewers are adults, while only 62% of Raw's are. It's only 18%.
What about the demo?
Fuck me. The idea is to try and win back the adult viewers from WCW by doing a Saturday night show. Why would that go to Raw then? There's also a problem with New York commissions who are... Oh, God, who cares, dude? When ECW did a recent show in New York City, the commission laid out all sorts of ground rules that basically eliminated all the things that make ECW what it is. No fighting outside the ring, no foul language, no blading. A Saturday night TV show would also have house show business because WWF runs house shows every Saturday night. Blah, 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 blah. God, he writes too much shit. That doesn't matter. Sorry, boys. I thought I got to the next subject and ended up on the same subject. Speaking of commentary, Mike Tenay is expected to be added as the third man at the WCW Nitro commentary table alongside Eric Bischoff and Bobby Heenan during the second hour of the show. Boys, do you think that's well-deserved?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Tenay getting a little promotion. I like it.
He's different. You know, he's not. He's not. Like, it's not like you're just adding another guy. It's just the same thing. He's got a different. You know.
He kind of does what I feel like Excalibur does in AEW, but he does it well. And not obnoxiously.
And it doesn't annoy you when you hear him say things, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got 4 more things to talk about here that Dave Meltzer said. The WCW lawsuit was settled out of court this week before it could go to trial. WCW agreed not to refer to Scott Hall or Kevin Nash as the bad guy or Big Daddy Cool, respectively. They haven't referred to them that at all. Sorry. WCW is also not allowed to state that they work for WWF. Okay.
They said they didn't.
I said that at Great American Bash. WCW wasn't planning to do any of that anyway, so it was an easy settlement. WWF is still moving forward with a separate lawsuit for trademark infringement. WWF reportedly got a hold of some internal WCW memos, where Hall and Nash were referred to by their WWF gimmick names. What? They're not going to call him Razor Ramon and Diesel on Nitro. That sounds like horseshit. Boys, come on.
Yeah.
An internal memo. Fuck off. Okay. WCW had Clash of the Champions that felt like just another Nitro episode. That could be fair.
Bullshit. I thought it felt a bit more like a pay-per-view, to be honest with you.
Well, the Hogan Flair thing made it feel, epic and of note. Chris Jericho was scheduled to debut on the show, but they decided a few days before to delay his debut and push it back the match. Which is unfortunate because no one told Jericho and he was confused when a plane ticket to fly him out to the show never arrived. Jericho is now scheduled to debut on Nitro next week. Jericho is a fucking mark and he clearly fucking talks to Meltzer. How would he know that? The only person that would know that is Jericho. So if Jericho if he wasn't a stooge for Meltzer, then Meltzer just lied. So either way, it's annoying. Can you guys see Jericho's a stooge? I can see it. Fucking dickhead. 4th member of the NWO is expected to debut at Fall Brawl. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting tired. If he's released from his contract in time, expect it to be 1-2-3 Kid. If not, then no telling who. Ted DiBiase will join WCW before the show, so it could be him, but he's not going to be wrestling due to injury and insurance reasons. And Jeff Jarrett won't be available until after the show, so it won't be him either. Really? It may end up being a WCW star turning. So, guys, it's any possibility.
Yeah. This is the good old Meltzer putting a bet on every single horse and then getting one right and going, yes, I got it.
Like when he was trying to pick the third man and he was fucking mentioning everyone under the sun. Last thing, boys, I'm very sorry. Despite this stinks of shit to me. Despite WWF's past threats to file a lawsuit against Lex Luger for jumping ship to WCW without notice, those plans have been dropped. Even though he jumped ship in fucking 95. We're talking about that now. Apparently, Luger's story about not being under contract at the time he left is true. So there's nothing they could do. Someone in WWF obviously dropped the ball on letting that happen. Why are we talking about this in the August 26, 1996 edition of The Observer? That's boys, come on. Blade, just please wreck him for me.
This is the part of the podcast I dread like every week. Like, because it's not that it's boring, it's actually quite interesting, but it brings up like such negative emotions and feelings that I don't want to be irritated. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be relaxed. I'm on holidays, as we talked about at the top of the show. Instead, I have to put up with this horse shit. It annoys me greatly. Like, this has actually made my night worse.
Does he just like have a preconceived feeling about, he just doesn't like WCW. He's never going to like them. So he's got to constantly like put shit out there to put them down. Like, why bring up the Luger thing at this point in time?
And it's that sort of thing where and I know we touched about it, I think, on a previous, what did Dave Meltzer say? But this to me is just like that blueprint or that foundation for all that tribalist like bullshit in wrestling, Um and like at this point, I almost feel like if you could look back, the power of hindsight and be like, man, actually having like a well-financed, legitimate competitor to WWF, WWE is a fucking good thing for the industry, because look what happened after that.
It was fucking shit.
Yeah, as a wasteland. Terrible.
Kev.
Fucking idiot.
Kev, anything to follow up here about what Dave Meltzer had to say?
Well, judging by the stories before you were reading and how boring and just bullshit they were, obviously it's a hard week and he's got to come up with something. And he's come up with some shit he's dragged from the past just to make up his newsletter, I guess. And people were they paying back then for this, or it was just
they paid, and then he sent the newsletter to their house.
You morons.
Like, honestly, it's so much fucking boring shit. Like, I when I read these out, I don't know what he wrote until I read it. So early on, I was reading it beforehand, but now I wanted to be surprised as I said it. The first two paragraphs, to have to give up halfway through because it's just drivel, and to bring up stuff that doesn't even matter. Like, I don't know.
If you're a fan and you want to waste money on rumors and hearsay, fucking call Gene in the hotline. At least that money goes in his pocket. At least he's backstage. At least he actually maybe knows something. He may not tell you anything, but he's there.
And you get his exclusive hotline report on 1-900-909-9900. All right, boys. Well, that brings us to the end of the Clash of the Champions 33 review. Kev, where can they find you?
Facebook, Kevin Curran Music, and on X, I am Hail Mary Kev. For my band, Hail Mary Band is on. That's the at Hail Mary Band for everything except for Facebook, and that's Hail Mary Band page. That's it for me.
You got to check him out, everyone. Honestly, fucking sick hard rock music. Blade, speaking of hard, anything final for you to say here tonight?
Fuck's sake. I want to give a plug to a little known Twitch channel from our very own nWBro, California. I saw him the other night on Twitch. A notification popped up my phone that he was DJ Stone Cold on Habbo Hotel. And had
what a fucking nerd.
And had 9 people in there at one point.
Right.
So,
I got a crew. on Habbo.
Yeah, get on Habbo. Download Habbo. If you don't know what Habbo Hotel is, it's a game that was a web chat client in the early 2000s.
Did you use it?
Yeah, I did, man.
Dude, they made okay, I'm sorry everyone. They made something called Habbo Hotel Origins, where they recreated the 2005 version of Habbo Hotel. So me and like all of these other adults that used it when we were teenagers were all on Habbo Hotel Origins. Like, people are at work, people are saying BRB, got to pick up the kids from school. It is hilarious. I'm telling you.
Get on there and support this man as he creates ridiculous content for 35-year-olds who need to pick up their children.
I'm just looking at Kev's face and he's thinking, this is my best friend.
Yeah. Now who's the fucking nerd of the podcast, you bitch?
You fucking got me back from last time. Well done, bro. Very well done. Were you planning that this whole time?
No, but I was thinking, it popped up in my mind as I give a shout. I'm like, shit, I don't have anything to say in this segment, like, ever. So I had to do it.
So fucking good. Well, there you go, everyone. The cat's out of the bag. I'm a massive nerd, but you can tell because I'm wearing glasses. And so are you, Blade. Kev isn't. He must not be a nerd. Thank you, boys. You got rid of him?
No, after the first episode, I was like, I'm not wearing them.
You do want to be a nerd?
I'd rather just not see properly.
You want to be the cool guy?
No, you had to put him on when he did his research into Waco and General Carson.
Yeah, I'll bring it out. That could be my gimmick.
I bet when Kev was doing his research, he had his glasses like this. Yes. Interesting. Well, thank you, boys. I've had fun once again. And before I go, I know that this will come out, this episode will come out after Christmas, but I have the official NWA holiday ornament.
That works for me, brother.
I got this off eBay, honestly. How fucking nerdy is this shit?
Ah, can you attach a hook to it?
There we go. It fell off.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, it's geez, I got this on eBay like 4 years ago. But you know, I don't put the tree's up and I don't put it on there. For the very reason that I think I just broke it, but it's all good. Thank you, boys. nWBro's, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's a good laugh again, man. I laughed hard. It was fun.
Me too, boys. And thank all of you out there for joining us. I'm sorry at this hour. I'm really tired. I've been stumbling over my words. But we hope you've had fun with us here on the Clash of the Champions 33 review here on the nWBro's podcast. California, Blade, Big fucking Kev. We will see you down the road. Thank you.